Hi, and welcome to this week's energy forecast for June the 19th through to June the 25th. I'll get that out in just a sec. For people of you who don't know me, I am Rachel Thompson Phillips, and I am the founder of BU Oracle Cards and BU Intuition online course, along with Successfully Sassy. Now, for people who don't know what Successfully Sassy this online course is it teaches people within the spiritual and wellness industry how to create their own online course. I am a massive avid person for education because I feel that knowledge has the potential to change anyone's world, anyone's circumstance. We can't make changes unless we have the knowledge on how to be able to create that. So as you can see, I'm a really big fan and love to help other people share their passion, their knowledge and their expertise with others. So let's go in and have a look at what is coming up this week. We are about to embark on a new moon, which comes through on June the 24th, which will be Saturday. So what happens between the full moon and the new moon is a transitional phase that occurs. Now, what can happen in this transitional phase, and for some of you, you may be able to really relate to this and others maybe not so much. What happens through that transitional phase is there can be moments where there feels like you are in a place of nothingness. You'll feel like you've put in all of this hard work and then all of a sudden it just feels like it's coming to a standstill. And then for some people, they'll start to think that maybe something's not working right, or thinking that they're not on the right pathway, and that's not true. Just remember to keep yourself in alignment with the direction that you want to go in, and that's the first and foremost important thing that's coming up. The second is to remember that the new moon is about setting intention. So to be able to have clarity around the direction that you want to go in. So you can use this week as a way to start becoming really explorative in being able to have a look and just check in with yourself and ask yourself, where do you want to go, and are you making steps towards being able to move into that space of the direction of your dreams. For anyone that's been listening and following my YouTube and these energy forecasts, you would have heard me say that the dreams are incredibly possible this year, and so to not give up on it. So in these moments of transitional phases can make people feel a little bit uncertain, and what I really want to make clear is don't listen to the noise that could be occurring in your mind, or be worried about the nothingness, because in the nothingness sometimes is where the biggest amount of questions get revealed. We spend a great deal of our life being so busy that for some people, when they reach that level of nothingness, they can find that a little bit disturbing. Allow yourself that space to just enjoy that. Sometimes by nothing going on, behind the scenes there's plenty going on. So the cards that have come out this week, and I'll be using my own deck of oracle cards, which are called BU. This week I've decided to do a little bit of a different spread. Instead of doing a 3-card spread, I've decided I was really drawn to doing a 5-card spread. And the question that I asked for this week was, how can people help navigate through this time and bring them back into an alignment with the direction of their dreams? So the very first card that came up was Rise Above. Now that really falls into the place of just exactly what I said. Through this transitional phase, rise above any moments within self that allows self-doubt to come through. Rise above those conversations that you may be having in your mind that's making you feel like you're lacking your own self-value and your own self-worth. Know that everything is going to unfold, but in order to do that, you need to have a much more productive objection to be able to look at it. Sometimes when we're in the thick of looking at things, sometimes we can't see anything. In the moment that we rise above certain situation, it allows us to be able to actually see what really is playing out behind the scenes. So if you have a lot of drama going on in your world, my biggest suggestion that I can make to you this week is to be able to have a look at what is the theme of the drama and how does it relate to you. So you may find that it may bring up self-value, self-worth, trust, abundance, scarcity, lack of mindset, any of those particular types of themes, and see what really is playing out in there at a core level for yourself. The next card that comes up, and that's for Monday and Tuesday, the next card that comes up from Wednesday through till Friday is the card of clairvoyance. Now, what the card of clairvoyance means is that for some people, yes, it's definitely, you will find if your clairvoyance skills are starting to really kick in, you'll start to see that there will be certain physiological symptoms that you may be feeling, and that may be, there may be starting to feel like a little bit of pressure right in your third eye, because as you know, the third eye connects to our clear vision. So it means that visual signs are coming through to let you know that you're on the right track. And this is what I find incredibly exciting, and I say to my students all the time, I think it's incredibly amazing how we can always be given signs that we are on the right track, and they come through, and sometimes the most, obvious, but not always so obvious at the time, signs and symbols. And they could be license plate, it could be words that you see, it could be something, say for example, you've been thinking about doing some study and all of a sudden you see a continual course coming up through the Facebook feed. They're all recognition of being able to let you know that your soul is guiding you through visual signs. So every time you see something that stands out for you, it may even be a particular color, it could be a word, it could be anything. There are no limitations. As even an animal, like if you're seeing a particular animal all the time, there's a hidden message there for you. So the beautiful thing is that, especially when we're on the journey of fulfilling our dreams, I don't care who you are and how evolved you are. Every single person likes to be able to receive a sign that lets you know that you're on the right track. So from Wednesday through to Friday, you're going to see them everywhere. And that's your soul's way of really communicating with you to let you know, hey, you're doing an amazing job. Keep going. And it's when we see those visual signs that lets us know that we're on our right track. Brings through the card for Saturday and Sunday, which is contentment, which when we see those signs and we get recognition that we're on the right track, it does bring us to a level of contentment, because it lets go of some of those naysayer sort of conversations that you may be having going on in your head, or those little moments of doubt. To be able to come to this place where you've seen the signs allows you to come to this beautiful place of contentment. And it's really important that when we reach those level of contentment, it usually always does show that we have done a lot of internal work behind the scenes that's allowed us to come to this new level of peace within ourselves. Now, because of this card being on Saturday and Sunday, the new moon is on Saturday. As I mentioned at the beginning, one of the greatest gifts that I think that you can have for this week is to be able to receive clarity around what it is that you want to be able to manifest next time, for next month. And sometimes it can be just even fine-tuning some of, say you're already on the path of being able to achieve your dreams. That's awesome and wicked, but sometimes we need to be able to fine-tune some of those skills so we can speed up that process. We may find that we might be recognizing that everything's working, but there's a few areas that require a little bit more effort or a little bit more changes made to them to bring everything into an alignment. Because as you hear me say, dreams are about coming true, but they're about making sure that as your dreams start to unfold, that every area in your world has of equilibrium between them. We don't want to have these massive imbalances so that you could be like, making sure you're living your dreams, but your family life or your health is not being taken care of. We want everything to be on this beautiful even keel, so that once you've reached that end goal point, there is this total celebration going on, and so that it prevents burnout. The amount of people that I have worked with over the years and seeing them work so hard to be able to achieve their dreams, and then they get there and then they're so burnt out they can't even enjoy it. This is not for this time. This is for us to learn to be able to change certain habits and behaviors that we have done. Allow ourselves to truly enjoy the journey that we are on. And sometimes when they say that we receive gifts, now sometimes those gifts don't always come in beautiful little packages. Sometimes the gifts that we receive can be a little bit harsh, but that's okay, because it's our soul that is saying to us, hey, you're worth more than what's occurring on in your world. And just check in with yourself and just be able to go in and navigate and say to yourself, what's missing from your world right at this point, so that you can achieve everything and more. So the two additional cards that I wanted to choose, that I picked, not so much that I picked out, but the additional two cards that I decided to be able to draw from the deck was a question when I asked, what are some finer things that people could do to help them stay on track? Now, the very first card that came to mind was Speak Your Truth. It's really important to be able to do this because remember, you are listening to every single thing we say. Everything you say, whether it's internally or externally, is building your beliefs. And it's so vital that when you converse and communicate with everyone, including yourself, that you're actually coming from a level of what is your truth for you. Because, you know, gone are the days, I had this conversation with this person the other day about how much things have totally evolved, especially within the online area and even just in Facebook in general. And being able to see that, you know, quite a few years back, it was always about being able to people to be able to see, yes, there was these great masters out there and they'd achieved greatness, but they never used to tell you about all the failures and all of the things that they had to overcome in order to have reached that. So it meant that those people that achieved great things and the ones that were starting that journey, the levels were so separated that it became more like a pipe dream. Now you'll start to see that social media is really starting to bring to the forefront the truth of what it really takes to be able to achieve your dreams. And that's being able to recognize that you may not always get everything on point. It may not even be perfect. But it's okay to not judge yourself so harshly for that and be able to go, hey, you know what, this didn't work out, but I learned this and that was really vital. So the next time when I go to do this, I can really fine tune that skill. Or I decided to do this, and by the time I actually finished it, I actually realized that it wasn't actually as fulfilling as what I thought it would be. But you know what, I can tick it off my list and I can move on to the next thing. And I'm really proud of myself because of that, I learned to, you know, overcome procrastination. I learned to overcome my own self-doubt. So remember, just be really truthful for where you're at and know that you are exactly where you need to be in your journey. And, you know, other people learn by your example. And it's important for you to be and speak nicely to yourself, to remove those harsh words that have that level of high expectation. Because what usually happens with massive high expectations is that the decline downwards comes really rapidly and it makes it very difficult to always be building yourself up. So be very mindful of the language that you have with yourself over this coming week. The next is Piece of the Puzzle. So remember, as this fits in beautifully with the clairvoyant messages. So I'll just line this up here. The beautiful thing with Pieces of the Puzzle also fits in alignment with the clairvoyance because it's about receiving messages, being able to see signs. Now, every one of those little signs is giving you a piece of the puzzle towards being able to reach your goals. So recognize them. When you do see them and you get that aha moment, like if you're working towards something and all of a sudden you see a visual sign that lets you know that you're on the right path, take a moment to really reflect on that and say, give yourself permission to really honor and validate that you have just recognized that sign, that your soul and that yourself are in beautiful alignment, that you have been able to take in that communication that your soul has given to you. Because it's really important that your soul hears that validation that we give to ourselves. Remember, 90% of us people, we all work on reward systems. So the more that your soul is recognized for the messages that it's conveying and that you as the human has actually heard it, it's really important because then you build up this beautiful rapport with one another so that the signs you'll start to recognize start coming through more and more and more. And those little signs are important little stepping stones that help you be able to achieve your dreams. And that's what this year is all about, making sure that you achieve your dreams. So with the clarity and the signs and the symbols, now you can use this as a powerful tool, the signs and symbols. I'll give you a few different little tips on things that you can do for yourself. One, to remind yourself to ask for clarity, checking in with yourself if you are in alignment with your dreams and goals. If you're not, make adjustment periods to be able to see what do you need to do to fine tune some things in your world to bring you back on track. 2, remind yourself of the magnificence of who you are as a person. Communicate with yourself in a way that is beautiful and that allows you to be able to radiate and be able to recognize the beauty that exists within you, and also come from a place of acceptance that there's some areas in your life that still require a little bit more time before you look at them and think, hey, that's really awesome about myself. But for now, just find that level of acceptance and remember, every aspect of you is shaping the person that you are. The 3rd, look out for your signs. They're going to be standing out really importantly this week. So when you do recognize them, remember to check in with yourself and say thank you. Remind yourself that your soul is communicating to you and it likes to be validated. So when you've got that sign, check in and just say, hey soul, thank you. I've seen the message and I'm ready to move forward. So I hope that helps you with the energy for this week. And remember, new moons are a beautiful way to be able to have incredibly cool rituals to be able to invoke the kind of intention that you wish to set for the next 30 days before the next new moon comes. So that could become done through drumming. It can be done through burning ceremonies. It can be done with, usually I find that as we start to navigate towards a new moon, you'll usually find that there's this purging that goes on. So, you know, there's this feeling of urgency to want to almost like spring clean your house, go through your wardrobe and get rid of everything that doesn't fit you, or you know, just you're not happy with anymore and you want to be able to change up your wardrobe. They're all beautiful signs that let you know that in order to allow the new to come forward, we first must release all of the old. And remember that when we're releasing things at the same time, it can feel like now I'm going to give 2 different scenarios. For some people, they really resist that letting go because certain objects become an identification of their own identity. And for other people, releasing and letting go is really very, very enthralling because they can remind themselves of the symbology behind it, that as you release, you give space for something beautiful and new to come through. So if you're feeling really drawn to give your house a bit of a spring clean, or go through your wardrobe, or just start going through things and looking at what do you want and what don't you need, and then realizing that there is a beautiful gift that goes in with releasing, because we can give them to charities. We can offer what it is that we no longer need in our world anymore. We might find that there's a friend or a family member that would love what you have. So by releasing, you're actually just giving it away to someone else to be able to help you, or even if you want to sell it online as a way to recuperate some funds to be able to, you know, be able to go and purchase something new if that's what you were wanting to do. But remember, it's always about that energy exchange of releasing and letting go, giving more space for beautiful new things to come through. So with your list for setting up your ritual, you know, have absolute clarity around what it is that you want to be able to manifest. And by having the ritual is about giving yourself permission to set an intention, an energy intention, and not only just an energy intention, but a mindset. It's like gearing your mind for going, do you know what, this is what I want to be able to manifest into my world, but understanding that the laws of manifestation, or the laws of attraction, is also about knowing that you do have to apply action. So if you know exactly where you need to apply the action, it means that you can get on with taking the first step, the next step, and this next step after that. So this week is going to be pretty exciting for everyone. So I wish you an amazing week, and have a beautiful new moon on the 24th of June. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all again next week. So if this video is something that really resonates with you, or may resonate with someone that you do know, please feel free to share this. So take care, have a great week, and I'll catch you again next week.